ye via email and schedule a consultation. Crew podcast 2023@gmail.com. We are the change we desire to see.
Are you tired of the burden of past financial mistakes weighing you down? Look no further than BHG Credit Solutions, the industry leader in credit repair. We understand the challenges you face: charge-offs, late payments, bankruptcy, and those daunting student loans, but don't let them define your financial future. Here at BHG Credit Solutions, we've got your back. Our team of dedicated professionals specializes in turning credit adversity into opportunity. We'll work tirelessly to dispute inaccuracies, negotiate with creditors, and to develop personalized strategies tailored to your unique situation. Our proven track record speaks for itself. Countless satisfied clients have seen their credit scores soar.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is a founding sponsor for Da Crew podcast. Get featured inside the magazine and allow your voice to be heard around the world.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is an international magazine founded in May of 2020 by Queen Angela. Get featured.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Last time I was on here, I was here to encourage parents, and now I want to make you aware about schools. But before I start, let me sing this song. He's a lily of the valley. He's a bright and a morning star. Oh, he's a lily of the valley. He's the bright and the morning star. He's the lily of the valley. He's a bright and a morning star. Isn't that good news? Ooh, hallelujah. Isn't that good news? Hallelujah. Glory, glory, glory. He is the lily. We got to put God first in all things and everything, especially in this changing world, because a lot is going on. And today I want to talk about schools and education and how it has changed over the years. Before there were schools, children used to work with their parents in the field as young as 5, 6 years old. Why? Because there was no such thing as schools. You just work in the field with your parents. So when 1912 came, the children's labor laws started. So they had to figure out, what can we do with these children? And a lot of churches had already had schools because they wanted their children to be educated for the world. So the government said, let us start schools too. And they look at it as an opportunity to make some money. And it's been a money thing since. And if you think about it, when it comes to these standardized testing and all this stuff, like for real, who's actually learning? Because when you're in the classroom and you're trying to teach the children the basics of ABCs and 1, 2, 3, who's actually learning if you telling them that they have to pass these standardized tests? Because they don't even know step 1 first. We even got away from writing in cursive. They can't even sign their own name. So school and education has changed over the years. And parents have to fight for their children and for their education. So when school started, it started in the church. And that's why a lot of private schools, get their money first. You're like, why they get money before the public schools? Now you know. And then as the years went by, certain children couldn't go to school. They weren't allowed to read or write. And then when they did allow them to read and write, they had to go to their own school. So it was segregated for a very long time. And they didn't get the same education as their non-white. You know what I'm saying? Children. And the sad part is, if you look at the different schools, all you have to do is get in your car and drive to different neighborhoods, and you'll see a big, huge difference when it comes to schools. You can go into a certain neighborhood and you will see wires and electricity and stuff that's falling apart in certain schools. Then you can go way out in the suburbs and go to their schools, and what do you see? Big, beautiful, bright schools with a big old band, a big old field. They got everything they need. And then when somebody says something, it's an issue. You know, no, I don't know. I don't know. Because all I know is all our children should be learning the same thing, especially at this day and time. Why are we still segregated? We're not segregated. Yes, we is. When it comes to education, we are. Because certain schools learn different things. They learn about coding. All schools don't learn about coding. Certain schools learn about housekeeping, nursing, finances. They learn that. All schools don't learn that. So we are still segregated, and I'm asking the parents to get involved. And a lot of parents say, well, I can't get involved. Yes, you can. Go to the PTA meetings. Get involved. Don't wait till something real bad happens. Then you want to say something. You have to show up. You have to vote. You have to make sure they hear your voice. And so the segregation, it just had continued for years and years and years. And that's why the Brown versus the Board of Education came about. Because they said, you know what? You're not going to keep on treating our children like this. Our children have to learn. So in 1954, yes, people went to court and they sued and they won. They won on paper. They won on paper. But because if you really look at education, they really didn't win the way they're supposed to have won. Because you still got, now you got the lottery. Now you got all this crazy stuff. Oh, my child go to this school and that school. We still have different schools doing different things and not giving our children what they need. There's a difference between need and want. And when it came to children who are in disparity, who really need the help, they had the audacity and the nerve to say they don't need arts, they don't need music. Well, let me tell you, I have been teaching and working with children from 1990 on now. Do y'all hear me? So I've seen education change. I've seen things change in the classroom. When they start taking art and music out of the classroom, I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, the children, they need music and they need art. They need extracurriculum because it helps their brain grow. It helps their brain to develop. It makes their brain branch off and say, oh, I could do this and I could do that. But if you take everything away, calling yourself punishing them for what? What have they done? Why do they have to be punished? For what? They are children. Let them be children. When I was growing up, we were allowed, remember they used to have these papers on, they probably don't have it anymore. They used to give us these long rectangle papers. And at the top it was blank, and at the bottom it had lines. And at the top you can draw a picture. You draw a picture about your story at the top. And at the bottom you write about it. They took that away. Where does the creativity comes in? Like, the children are not allowed to think and explore and imagine anymore. They want to just take everything that's good away from children. And so we have to fight for that. And I used to get in trouble all the time. I didn't care, because thank God I was a social study teacher. And I thank God for that, because it opened up a door for me to be creative. It opened up a door for me to help children to solve problems. Because I will say, if you were there, what would you have done? Or what would you have changed? And then I will bring different crayons in there and say, draw this, draw a scenery, change the history, draw this, do that. And I will do a lot of hands-on because I am a visual person. I like to see things and I like to see it come to pass. And so what I would do in my classroom, I would bring in Legos for older children, yes. A lot of people keep on saying, but they in high school. They don't want to play with no Legos. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and think that. Because from 4th grade to 12th grade, I had them playing Legos, Play-Doh, all the stuff that you give to early childhood. I let them do that. Why? Because they had to be creative and solve problems. And I would give them a scenario and I said, okay, solve it using this. And they did, and they worked together. And a lot of people would get mad and say, her class show is quiet. Okay, so you mad? You mad that children are working together? See, that's what's wrong, because we need to teach our children how to socialize, because they got to grow up. They have to become adults, and they have to learn how to get along with the next person. And that's what's wrong with our society now. We have taken socialization out. We tell the children, as soon as they go in the classroom, be quiet, don't say a word. Well, when do they get to socialize? At lunchtime? I mean, they don't have a class to socialize. They need to talk. And I remember my principal came in one time, he said, they sure is doing a lot of talking. I said, He said, you let them, I said, yes, I let them talk. This is a social study class and they socializing. And he looked at me, he thought I was crazy, but if we're gonna talk about history, let them talk about it. Let them solve the problem. And I will have them do skits in my classroom. And I sent out, permission slips and ask, could I videotape your children do a skit? Because we're going to reenact history. And their parents will say, okay. So they will take a role of who's going to be this person, who's going to be that person. Because I wanted them to have fun with history. Because, when I was growing up, history was boring. I was like, oh my God, when are we going to get out of this class? But I had to find a way to make education and make learning fun. And we need to bring fun back into education, so that children, they don't mind just running school and learn how to do this or learn how to do that. But we have taken so much fun out of education and made it so serious that children don't even want to go. Even the teachers don't even want to be in the classroom. It's like, oh my God, we got to do what? Because all this bureaucracy, all this, you can't do this and you can't do that. And yes, they do give teachers a list of things they can and cannot do. And you like, well, Dad, my hands is tied. And the parents is getting mad at the educators. Why you not doing this? Why you not doing that? Well, we can't. And then when you try to explain that to some of the parents, they get very upset because they don't understand what's going on behind the scene. That's why I always tell parents, please get involved. Please call up to the school. Please ask if you could sit in the classroom. Please, please, please. It's a plea, because you need to know what's going on in your child's classroom. You need to know what's going on in your child's school. And so why are we talking about how school started and all that? Because it has changed over the years. I remember in 2010, I kept on asking parents, please get involved. Please talk to your children. If your children's behavior has changed, please find a way to talk to your child and find out what's going on. Why? Because in 2010, now this is 2023, but in 2010, a lot of things were happening in the schools. And from 2008, 2009, 2010, I personally and some more teachers had to go to children who are in elementary. We're not talking about high school. We're not talking about junior high. I personally had to go to some funerals because of children taking their lives. This thing is serious when it comes to education. And I always tell parents, pay attention to your child. But it's like they want to say, be quiet, don't talk to me. I don't want to hear it. You got to hear it. It's a plea. It's a plea going out. And I've been saying this since 2010. Pay attention to your child. If their attitude has changed, if their behavior has changed, get involved. And you know how children are. Don't talk to me. I don't want to tell you nothing. You better go to that school. You better sit in that classroom. You better find out what's going on. You better learn your children's friends, learn their names, who they are, who they hang with. Be nosy. They are still a child. They're not an adult. They need your help, especially now. And that was 13 years ago when I was saying, parents, please get involved. Why? Because there's a lot of things that I have witnessed with my own eyes in the classroom. And I literally had to call parents and tell them what's going on with their child, even though, not my child. No, not my child. I remember, hallelujah, I was teaching some 10th graders and I called the parents. I said, I'm not trying to be funny, but do you allow your child to come to school and have people touch on them? And they was like, what is you talking about? And I said, well, they sitting here and all these children is touching on them and they supposed to be learning. And they said, what? Let me speak to them. And they was talk to their child, find out, yeah, that child was doing things. Because a lot of parents, they do not want to get involved. A lot of parents say, well, I'm already stressed out. I'm tired. I already got to go to work. Then you want to add this to me. You want to tell me this. You want to tell me that. I'm trying to get you involved because there's a lot of things going on in the schools. There are a lot of things going on in the classroom. And then you got some schools with the principals, they tell the teachers, don't tell the parents what's going on. Don't tell them jack, because they don't want to get sued. They don't want to get involved. But I'm different because when I go to a classroom, I tell those children, I'm your mama. I'm your mama in here. From whatever time you come to school, I have to make sure that you are okay. I have to make sure that your safety is okay. I didn't come here to just get a paycheck. I come here to teach. I come here to make sure you are safe. And it's very rare when you have educators like that. But I'm old school and you shouldn't get involved. And there's a lot of teachers say, well, I can't call the parents, but I'm one of those people. I will call you in a minute and tell you what's going on with your child. We got to work together as adults. We got to work together because these are our babies. And in 2010, I was telling parents, if your child's behavior changed, ask them, did anything happen in the bathroom? Because a lot of things happen in the bathroom. Oh my goodness, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Why you don't want to hear it? Because you don't want to believe that this world has changed. You don't want to believe that something bad like this can happen to your child. Guess what? It is. And now it's worse than ever because I tried to warn parents 13 years ago, but they didn't want to hear it. Oh, be quiet, girl. That's not going on. I said, yes, it is. I said, they are doing things in the bathroom. Oh, they can't be doing that. They're not doing that. Yes, they are. Wherever you can think they can imagine in the class, in the bathroom, they are doing that in the bathroom. And if you look it up, there was a little boy, I believe he was 9 years old, and he went to a school here in Ohio. He was raped. He was gang raped. This is elementary. We ain't talking about junior high, and we're not talking about high school. We're talking about elementary. He was gang raped at his school. Went home, lay in his bed, and his mother said, "You're not going to eat?" He said, "No," and went to his room. And that was the last time she saw her son. Let me tell y'all, y'all got to get involved. So she had to do an investigation. She asked the school, "What happened to my child? Why? What happened?" They kept on saying, "I don't know, I don't know." When she finally got the lawyer, and this is the sad part, she had to get a lawyer. The lawyer said, "I want to see the cameras," because a lot of schools have cameras. They said, "I want to see the camera." And they showed this on national news. Do y'all hear me? They showed this on national news where her son was laying on the ground, his pants down. And then they took the video back and they showed the children run out the bathroom laughing and giggling. That boy was tortured. But the school tried to cover it up. And in 2010, I tried to tell parents, pay attention to your children. Because when their attitude changed and something changed, something has happened and it's not good. Talk to your children. Give them the help that they need. And don't yell at them. Don't scream at them. Don't fuss at them. Don't say, "Why you allow this to happen?" Don't say that to them. Because bullying has went to another level of evil. Bullying, when we was growing up, it would be, we cap on your mama, we cap on your feet, your toes, your eye. We would cap on each other as children. But this bullying, it's a different kind of evil. At first at the early 2000s, we went through the cyberbullying, where people get on social media and talk about you, talk about your family and all that stuff. That was a different kind of cyber bullying. But this bullying now turns to a different level of bullying. And a lot of us don't want to face it, but we have to, because we're losing our children at an early age now. It was unheard of children in elementary going through this process, but they are, because evil has taken to a different level. Evil is at a different age. And as an educator, I'm trying to warn people, pay attention to your children. Quit closing your eyes. "Oh, not my child. That won't happen to my child." We now we got parents who are taking the school board to court. And now they have to go to Supreme Court, because now we have went to a different level of evil. Now we got boys who are lying and saying that they are a transgender, and they wearing girls' clothes, and they going in girls' bathrooms and they raping them. So now we getting 9, 10, and 11-year-olds being violated. And we still want to close our eyes. Pay attention to your children. Go to these PTA meetings. Get involved. Get these petitions signed. Yelling and screaming and hollering and marching is not going to get anything changed, but petitions will. If we can get enough parents to go to the city council and get these petitions and get these signed and say, "Listen here, we need to do something," because bullying, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Do you hear me? That's right. Unacceptable. And I'm looking at these parents, I'm looking at these different cases now. And the parents are saying, "My child was violated." And the people sitting there just looking at them. They looking at them like, "Okay, Ann." And they said, "But what if it's your child?" And they looking like, "But it's not my child." And that's the problem. In their head, it's not my child. But what if it was your child? Because every child that come to the school, if I'm there, that's my child. And I always tell the parents, you birthed them, but when they come to the school, I'm their mama. Because I got to watch over them. I got to protect them. I got to make sure they're safe. So if I try to warn you about something and tell you about something, I'm not saying it just to be saying it. I'm not saying it because I want you to be mad at me. I'm telling you, I'm trying to warn you what's going on. But some parents, I just don't want to get involved. But you're your child's advocate. You're supposed to fight for your child. And a lot of parents, they don't want to fight. It's like they're so overwhelmed and they're so tired and they're so drained. It's like, I don't want to deal with this. But you have to. You have to. Because a teacher only can do so much. And some teachers who actually, report this, a lot of them get fired. Because you be like, where's so-and-so? So-and-so gone. You know why? Because if they're a good teacher and they had reported it, they got fired. You know why? Because now we live in a system where they want you to be quiet. They don't want you to speak up for the children. They don't want you to say anything. Just keep your mouth closed. If you saw it, just be quiet and don't say anything. That's what kind of world we live in now. But this is a plea to ask the parents to please get involved. I have said this in 2010, get involved. And now is at a different level. Is at a different level. Our society has changed. And now we have to fight the government because the government think we can just do what we want. They already attack us with these different, how can I say it? These different sitcoms where the children are telling the adults what to do. So they started with that. Then they started with, well, you can't discipline your children. That was the next blow. Now, this blow is worse. Yeah, they are fighting with their child. They are. So it's like different levels. But if we get together as parents and sign these petitions, forget the school boards, sign these petitions, go to your city council and get these petitions passed. You need 100 to 200 parents to sign these petitions to get these petitions passed. Oh, I didn't know that. You need at least 100 to 200 people. Don't go to the school board, go to city council because they will have to change the law. But it's going to take all of us to work together. Get these petitions signed. If you want to be a transgender, be a transgender. But have your own bathroom. Because I need my child to be safe. And when it comes to bullying, I need the schools to be reliable. Because too many schools are telling the principals, too many principals are telling the teachers, be quiet, keep your mouth shut. I have actually got wrote up because I said, you need to do something. Oh, I keep everything, honey. They don't want me to write a book because I'm going to have my receipts. Do you hear me? I'm going to have my receipts because I have been written up multiple times because I said this bullying has to stop. It has to stop. It's being ridiculous. This don't make no sense. Oh, you need to be quiet. Just be quiet. Really? You telling me to be quiet when I'm supposed to report what's going on in the classroom? But you're going to tell me I'm going to lose my job. So yeah, I kept on getting wrote up and they did give me a letter. They gave me a letter and said, your services are no longer needed. Teachers are getting fired because they speaking up. That's why you're losing your good teachers. And now you got people in there. There are some schools, they don't even have teachers. They just hire anybody now because they can't even keep a teacher because they had did the good teachers so wrong that now it's just anybody in the classroom. And that's scary because now who's actually teaching the children and who actually care? That's where we at. And so we need, this is a plea going out. Parents, please get together. Get these petitions, take a day out, y'all, get on these social medias and say, listen, on this day, we're going to go to city council and we're going to sign this petition. Get this petition signed, because even though they said there's a law out for bullying, the school's not paying attention to that bullying. They don't even care about that. So we need to make sure it goes to the next level. So this is my plea today. And this is what I want to talk about, how school has changed. And I'm pleading with the parents. Get these petitions together, please. I'm begging you. Get these petitions together. And Arthur Black Diamond said the problem is the courts taking power from the parents by telling them what they cannot do when you come to their children. Now the children run with it and do what they want to do. And that's why we still got to get these petitions together. Because when it comes to correction, they don't mind having a popo on our children. So we need to take our power back. Because we need to, I'm telling you, we need to take our power back. Now have the people come to my house multiple times. They sure did. And you know what I told them? Since you think I don't know what I'm doing in raising my children, you go ahead and take them. Because that's the attitude I had. Do I have receipts? Sure do. I still got papers showing that they came and investigated me. Because I am not going to have children tell me how to run my house. And I get up every day, work, and pay the bills. Not in my house. So we can discipline our children without beating them. And one thing about my children, they could say, you go ahead and be crazy and watch mama be cray-cray. Because, honey, I'll take everything away from you. As long as you got food and some clothes, that's all you need. Because that's the kind of parent I am. You won't have no TV. You might not have no dresser. You won't have no clothes. You'll probably have about 2 outfits, maybe 3 outfits, or maybe 5 if I'm nice, But I'm old school. So yeah, don't reward children because you told them to pick up something, they picked it up. They should be picking it up anyway. Be the parent, stand up for your children, and get these petitions together. Because it's the petitions that's going to make a change. Going to the school board, get these petitions. And that's my plea for today. Thank you for listening and have a blessed day.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is a founding sponsor for Da Crew Podcast. Get featured